Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I must apologize for my lengthy absence. I will try not to allow such a long time to pass again without us speaking. So, the month of May is being recognized as Mental Health Awareness Month. And in keeping with the theme of this channel, I thought it would be a good idea for us to spend some time today focusing on the mental wellness aspect of our well-being. One thing that seems to affect many people, and especially in these trying times, is depression and anxiety. Okay, maybe that's two things. But seriously, there has been a worrying trend lately of more and more persons suffering from this disease. It is a very serious issue, one that should not be ignored or overlooked. So, let's talk about it. First of all, what is the difference between being sad and being depressed? Simply put, sadness is a feeling of being in a low mood caused by a single event that can be identified. And depression is a mood disorder that causes persistent feelings of sadness and a loss of interest in things and activities that you once enjoyed. Depression is different from sadness in that it persists practically every day for at least 2 weeks and involves other symptoms than sadness alone. So what causes depression? Well, there are more than one factors that may contribute to a person being depressed. For example, childhood experiences or unhealed trauma from the past. Difficult experiences from a person's past, such as abuse, abandonment, or some other traumatic event, could cause this person to be more susceptible to developing depression later in life if this trauma from the past is not dealt with. Circumstances in your life may lead to depression also. As I said before, these are trying times, and people are affected one way or another. One of the most common sources of stress and depression in people's lives today can be their job. On the one hand, you need it, but on the other hand, some jobs are so stressful and consume so much of your life that you may find yourself dreading going to work. Or you may be finding it difficult to make ends meet because either your job doesn't pay well, or you may have lost the one you had and are finding it difficult to get another one. Maybe you're one of those persons living in an era that is affected by conflict or natural disaster. Relationship problems or the loss of a loved one and loneliness can also lead to depression. Having difficult relationships with a romantic partner or family member can be a source of stress. If you're living in a situation where you're coming home to conflict constantly and it is not dealt with and it is allowed to persist, it can cause some persons to eventually go into depression. On the other hand, the loss of a relationship, perhaps through a breakup or the passing of someone that we love, can bring on severe feelings of grief, loneliness, and depression. Something that we take for granted is good health, because most of the time we are in good health. But suffering from physical health problems is something that may lead to depression, especially in cases of prolonged illness. For example, some physical health problems may cause ongoing pain and discomfort, and in some cases may have significantly changed your lifestyle. And suddenly you find that things that you were once able to do, you can no longer do. This can lead to depression. In addition to physical health problems, there are hormonal problems and conditions that can affect the brain, which may cause depression. So healthcare providers are aware of these issues, and very often, if you're being treated for certain physical illnesses, especially prolonged ones, your healthcare provider may decide to offer you mental health support. If they do not offer and you're struggling, please let them know that you need help. It is also thought that one's family history may contribute to depression. The jury is still out on this, as researchers have not found a depression gene which may run in a family line. But it has been seen that if you have a close family member who suffered from depression, then you're quite likely to develop depression yourself. This is perhaps because you share the same circumstances as that family member. It could be because of how members of that family are taught to cope with certain situations, or it may very well be genetic. Now, recreational drugs, alcohol, and certain medication can also cause depression. My advice would be to avoid recreational drugs entirely. It may seem to relieve your stress for the moment, but they are addictive and can be very harmful in the long term. Alcohol must only be had in moderation and should not be considered as a way to relieve stress, because this too is addictive and can lead to bigger problems. With regards to your medication, always read the information leaflet and ask your doctor or pharmacist about the side effects. If you find that your medication is causing you to be depressed, please speak to your doctor about changing it or about reducing the dosage. These are just some of the things in life that may cause depression, but the important thing is to identify if you are depressed and get help. So, how do you know if you're actually depressed or just in a state of sadness? Well, as I said before, the difference is sadness is that low mood caused by certain events, but outside of those events, you have moments of happiness during your day. Depression, on the other hand, is sadness that is all-encompassing and that lasts throughout the day with no breaks of happiness. It can be identified by symptoms such as these. You may feel down or find yourself crying more than usual. You may feel empty, numb, and no longer find pleasure in life or in things that you once enjoyed. For some persons, whenever they're depressed, they become angry easily, restless, agitated, or irritable over even minor things. Many have feelings of hopelessness and despair and may begin having self-harming thoughts or behavior. You may find that you're tired all the time. You have little or no energy and have difficulty remembering or concentrating on things. You may find that you're isolating yourself and do not wish to be around others. Suddenly, you're turning down invitations and avoiding social events and activities that you usually enjoy. You may be finding it difficult to sleep, or you may be sleeping too much. Maybe you've lost your appetites and are losing weight. Now we wish to lose weight, but not like this. Or you may be eating more than usual and are gaining weight. And sometimes it manifests itself in physical aches and pains with no obvious physical cause. Now, if you have 5 or more of these symptoms and they last for at least 2 weeks, then you may be suffering from depression. Please, do not hesitate. Get help immediately. First and foremost, you should try to identify the reason for your depression. And do not isolate yourself, but speak to someone you can trust, such as a family member, a close friend, a coworker, or a teacher you trust if you are a student. Depending on the severity of your depression, you may need to seek the help of a trained professional. The decision to seek professional help is an entirely personal one. They may order some medical tests to see if there are underlying medical conditions that are causing your depression. And the treatment they choose to provide will be determined by how severe your issue is. If your depression is severe, or if you've tried other treatments which didn't work, then your medical provider may prescribe antidepressants. But these are a last resort, and for severe cases or where a chemical imbalance has been identified as a reason for your depression. The most common form of help you can get is what is known as talking therapy, where the trained counselor or therapist listens to you speak about your feelings without judging you. In those sessions, you get to talk. You cry if you wish, or you just sit in silence until you're ready to talk. And then the therapist helps you to come up with some answers or solutions to your problems. You may be recommended to avail yourself of self-help resources if your situation is not considered a severe case. This is the first treatment that a doctor would recommend, as they can be accessed faster and may help you to feel better without having to take medication. So your medical provider may recommend that you participate in a self-help program that can help you to work through your feelings and teach you skills to help you to cope with how you feel. Now, your provider should support you and check your progress throughout the program. They can do this online, face-to-face, or over the phone. Now, of course, it is important that you do what you can to help yourself. First of all, do not isolate yourself, because at the time you're alone, your thoughts and your problems may begin to seem larger or more devastating than they are. Try to get involved in something that allows you to be around other people and keeps you focused on other things. And if you are around people, make sure to surround yourself with positive people who engage in wholesome acts that will leave you feeling good about yourself. Try to set goals for yourself and work hard toward achieving them. Having something to focus on is a great motivator, and even small wins in life can lift your spirit. Try not to make too many external factors the source of your happiness, though, and do not make any one person your sole reason for living. Because if you lose that one person or that one thing, then you may lose your will to go on. Get involved in helping others. Now, there's greater joy in giving, and when you're helping others, you're not only focusing on your little world, but you may even come to see that there are people with worse circumstances than yours. Plus, there's just that deep satisfaction that comes from helping another person. And take care of your physical well-being. Be active. Exercise releases endorphins, which is a hormone that relieves pain and reduces stress. Make sure to get enough sleep, because being sleep deprived contributes to feelings of depression. And make sure you're eating well, as nutrient-rich foods help to reduce mood swings and improve your concentration, while processed and sugar-filled foods may lead to inflammation in the body, which causes mood disorders such as anxiety, aggravation, and depression. Now, if you're not suffering from depression, there are things you can do to help others. First of all, always be kind with your words, because you never know what the people you meet may be going through. Be willing to listen. Sometimes when people, unfortunately, choose to self-delete, those around will ask, well, why didn't they speak to someone? Maybe they tried and they were dismissed, because persons are still of the mindset that if the issue is not physical and there's no swelling or bruising, then it's not serious. But this is an erroneous thinking, because our mental health and well-being is just as important as our physical well-being. Also, be cognizant of changes in people you know. If you see a change in someone's behavior, try to find out what is causing the change without prying too much. Is your child acting up more than usual? Instead of always punishing them, try to find out the reason for their behavior. Spend some quality time with them and give them a chance to speak and open up to you. You may be surprised at the things they tell you. And be supportive of others that you know are going through a tough time. Perhaps they recently lost someone. Let's be our brother's keeper. Remember, we're all just out here trying to make it. Now, if you're suffering from depression, remember, life is not easy, and everyone has a challenge one way or another. But you have to be resolute and decide that your challenges will not conquer you. Your happiness should not be based on your circumstances, because Circumstances change, and as the saying goes, the happiest people do not necessarily have the best circumstances. They just make the best of their circumstances. The secret is maintaining a grateful spirit, because no matter how bad things are, there is always something to be grateful for. You just have to look for it. Remember also that happiness is intentional. It is not something that you find by the wayside. You have to make a decision each day that you're going to be happy and you're going to be positive no matter what comes your way. Stand in front of your mirror if you need to and tell yourself how special you are. The aim is not to be haughty, obviously. It is to remind you of your worth. Please, always remember how precious you are. You are valuable, you are loved, and you are worthy of your place in this universe. Things won't always be the way they are today. One day, there will be a permanent fix. Until then, please take care of yourself and the person beside you. Remember, our aim is total mind and body wellness, and we aim to accomplish this together. So please, share this video with your family and friends, and please do not forget to subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so already. And I thank you so much for watching.